Hello everyone, this is Drew with Drew Drives, and I'm with Chris from Polestar Grapevine at Grubbs Family Dealerships, and today we're going for a drive in the 2023 or 2025 Polestar 3. So, Chris, tell us a little about this vehicle.
Nice. So this is the Polestar 3. This one is going to be in the launch edition configuration, so it will have all three of our packages, Pilot, Plus, and Performance, along with one of our premium colors on the outside and our optional Napa leather seating. This car comes with a whole lot of very wonderful features that no other EVs really have on the road today. Things like a torque vectoring rear axle made by Borg-Warner. This also does have dual chamber air suspension. On top of that, the leather in this vehicle is made from Bridge of Wear. It's the same leather that is found in the McLaren Speedtail and other Aston Martins of the liking. So very, very kind of competitive, complete product coming out into this car. So
I mean, this interior seems pretty impressive. I love the steering wheel. And I love the way this car looks. Like, this has the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. I just really like the layout of everything in here, and it feels great.
Definitely we're trying to go for more of kind of the minimalist design on the inside of here, but still wanted to keep some things that people know and love, like, you know, window switches, lock and unlock buttons. You do still have a volume dial here in the middle, but, you know, definitely we're trying to go for some of that Scandinavian minimalism in here as well. And I think we kind of incorporated everything very wonderfully in here. The design kind of speaks for itself. It's very kind of, you know, fluid and very complete on the inside of here. You do have a lot of space all throughout. I'm a 6'5" gentleman myself, and even the seats behind me have a ton of room. So yeah, just a great car inside and out.
Perfect. Let's go for a quick walk around of the outside of the car, and then let's go for that quick drive.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, the front of this vehicle looks pretty awesome. I really love this right here. I think
definitely one of my favorite places to be, especially because of the pass-through. I always kind of make the joke that, hey, this is pretty much an SUV 488 Pista at this point, so.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, most definitely. But a lot of really kind of creative design aspects all throughout. Like you mentioned, the pass-through in the front, and then we also do have another pretty big rear wing on the trunk out back.
Okay.
As you'll notice, the vehicle is going to sit pretty low to the ground for SUVs. It's going to sit even a little bit lower than kind of your typical BMW X3 or one of those D-segment SUVs would. But while it still sits pretty low, it does kind of get the length of those little bit larger SUVs, kind of like the XC90, Mercedes GLS, or other vehicles that are going to be a little bit larger. So definitely kind of fits at a little bit odd spot in the marketplace, but a definitely very wonderful vehicle nonetheless.
Yeah, I think it looks phenomenal. I love the wheel and tire setup. I've always liked in Polestars like that gold theme, like the seat belts and the brake calipers. They look phenomenal, and then the rear seats look really, really nice. And yeah, the legroom definitely looks fantastic in there. Perfect. Yeah, let's look at the
a few different ways to open the trunk. Kind of button right over the license plate, or you can just wave your foot underneath here and it will kick right on open for you as well.
Very nice.
It's a pretty spacious trunk. You do have your privacy divider right here, so if you do want to slide that back to access some more of your items, you definitely can.
Okay.
And then you do have even more storage underneath here for other items you just don't want exposed to the cabinet at all times.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, let's hop in. Let's go for that drive.
Perfect.
All right. So it looks like it's a column shifter.
Yes, sir.
And you have a 360-degree camera system. That's pretty cool.
A little bit more than that. You can actually kind of go all the way around the vehicle and see the full 3D model of it. But if you'd like to recenter the view, you can go right back to a 360 if you'd like.
That's so cool.
Yes.
And so how do I change the drive mode in this vehicle?
If you shift the car back into park, that will pull back up. You do have all of your drive mode controls kind of right over here through these settings. So a bunch of different things to kind of mess around with over here. As I mentioned, the vehicle is going to sit on air suspension, so you do have the ability to change the suspension feel or even raise it up a little bit if you're going over more inclement terrain. Same thing goes for our ESC. We do have it in sport mode currently, so it is going to allow for a little bit more kind of playful driving in this car as well. And then you do have your steering feel button and your regenerative braking, or as we like to call it, one pedal drive in here. You have the ability to kind of change those options around right now. So your steering feel is going to be on firm, power delivery is going to be on performance, your suspension feel is going to be on standard for now, but if you'd like to change that around to be a little bit more kind of performance oriented, I'd definitely recommend changing that over to firm. But yeah, you should be all set up and good to go.
Let's go. Nice. So there's your rear cross traffic monitoring right there.
We at least know it works.
And I love how in the seats it like says the what the seats like Polestar 3 100% trace Napa leather. I I like those little details, like on the outside of the car it says battery electric vehicle. I really like that.
They drew a lot of inspiration from kind of the designs and markings that go off the side of DSLR cameras. So
gotcha.
kind of just the little aperture and f-stop settings that you find on the side of camera lenses, they really drew a lot of the inspiration from there to kind of show people exactly what they're getting into, and if they care to read into it, know a little bit more about the car.
This one pedal drive it's very interesting, because like obviously I'm very used to hitting the brakes, but like I'm just taking my foot off the gas and it brakes for me. So that's really interesting. I like that.
And the nice thing about that as well is this car does have Brembo brakes at all 4 corners, and with the one pedal drive or regenerative braking on, it is going to save the life of those even longer. So the brake pads and rotors in this car will be able to last about 2 to 3 times as long as they would in your typical vehicle.
Very cool. Yeah, this is a very unique experience. Yeah, I love all the Polestars. You know, the Polestar 1 is gorgeous, one of the best looking coupes I've ever seen. I just absolutely love that car. Very elegant design. And then the Polestar 2 is a really nice looking car too. And this is just it's so hard to explain. It's just really unique design. I like cars that stand out on the road, and Polestar definitely provides products that do that.
Definitely so, especially with this one specifically, the kind of lower slung body with the very big meaty wheels and tires.
Right.
Kind of plays into a very wonderful performance SUV.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait to get a nice acceleration right here. Let's go. Wow, that is fast.
Very smooth and nimble, especially for a car that's approaching kind of up to the 6,000 pound range. This one's right kind of around the 5,800 pound mark. So definitely a heavy girl, but she hides the weight very, very well in this.
Yeah, I mean, it is, yeah, it's extremely smooth. I love that. And yeah, road noise is pretty insulated in here. I'm gonna expect that. But yeah, it's nice. And I like the steering wheel, like the contours in the steering wheel. It's like nice and easy to grip.
Very easy to grip, and it is also the kind of perfect thickness. I feel like that's one thing, at least for me, where getting into a car, you know, it either feels too thick or too thin is kind of the worst thing for me. I feel like they kind of hit the nail right on the head with the steering wheel in this car.
Perfect. And yeah, I noticed like in a lot of Volvo products and the Volvo and Polestar products like that, I like that speaker up on the dash. That's pretty cool.
Wanted to make it a little bit more artistic to kind of highlight the wonderful Bowers & Wilkins sound system in this car. I believe it is going to be the most powerful product, or most powerful system ever put into a Polestar or a Volvo product. So yeah, just kind of wanted to make it a little bit more artistic to highlight the wonderful features in this car.
Awesome. And could you also tell a little bit more about like the performance on this car, like horsepower, torque, and anything else regarding that?
Yeah, of course. This one's going to be making, in the performance pack configuration, just a little bit north of 500 horsepower.
Okay.
This one will be able to do 0 to 60 in just around 4.3 seconds and can get up to 315 miles of range in this vehicle as well. It is going to be all-wheel drive, and you do have pretty big tires at all 4 corners, 275s up front and 295s in the rear, so it does kind of hug the road very, very wonderfully.
Okay.
And it also goes pretty in line with those Volvo and Polestar safety principles and tendencies. This is going to be one of the safest vehicles on the road today.
Wow, that's fantastic. So is this the most powerful Polestar 3 that's available, or is there another one?
This is going to be the most powerful Polestar 3 currently available. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Yeah, I mean, so okay, yeah. So basically, the higher performance Polestars have the gold seat belts and the big wheel and tire setup and all that, right?
That will kind of be the signature with the performance pack, is the gold seat belts all throughout, and then also, as you mentioned, the Brembo brakes and the forged wheels at all 4 corners. That'll always be our kind of signifying factor.
Got it. But yeah, as you were saying, I'm very impressed with how smooth it is, and the steering, it's very responsive. You can see that, and then also just it's firm but not too firm. You know, It's great for daily driving. Even in the most aggressive settings that we're on now, it feels really good. I feel like I could drive this every day, and the seats are unbelievably comfortable.
Most definitely, and that's really all to thank because of the dual chamber air suspension in this vehicle. It is going to be the first EV on the world with such, and it really helps kind of control that weight quite drastically, where even if we're kind of throwing it into a corner as we are a little bit right now, the car really never feels unsettled. It always feels like it has really good feet underneath it.
Dang, this thing's fast.
It really is.
It definitely throws you back in your seat. Yeah, I really like the way it puts down power. It's impressive. And so does this car have, like, you know, hands-free driving and things like that?
This one specifically will not. We will be launching our pilot pack with LiDAR assist here a little bit later on this year or next. That will allow the vehicle to do level 4 autonomous driving on certain stretches of freeway. So at that point you will have full hands-free driving, but currently for now you do have the pilot assist in this car. It will kind of steer for you, speed up, slow down. Only thing is you do just need to keep your hand on the wheel.
Wow. And so as far as the infotainment system, is there anything, so I see obviously you have the Google integration, which is awesome. I love when manufacturers put Google, I like how Volvo and Polestar has Google integrated into the infotainment, which is awesome.
Most definitely. And so the Polestar 2 was the first vehicle in the world to ever have a system fully developed by Google for the user interface. We carried that right over into this vehicle here, just kind of edited a little bit more to give it a little bit more features and just kind of mesh a little bit better with the Polestar 3. So still the same infotainment system that we know and love, or kind of based system that we know and love. Gives you the ability to download more apps to the Google Play Store, certain things like Google Chrome, YouTube, or different music apps like Pandora, Spotify. You can really customize the experience in here directly to how you like it.
Very nice. And yeah, definitely, yeah, it's a very, it seems like an easy to use system, like nothing too overwhelming, right? Pretty.
The same thing goes if you actually click the middle lower button on the right side of the steering wheel over there. It does give you the ability to change your views. Click it one more time and it will actually pull up the Google
Oh,
Maps
that's amazing.
behind you right there as well. So as I mentioned, a kind of endless bit of customization in here to fully tailor the driving experience to how you like it.
Very nice. So yeah, that's really cool. And so yeah, so basically you have those 3 views. What do the buttons on the left side of the steering wheel do?
Those are going to be for your adaptive cruise control settings. So
Okay.
For distance control and just upping or lowering your speed while you're on the highway.
Very nice. And you know, a lot of electric cars have this the option to make like an artificial noise. Does the Polestar offer that, or does it not have that?
You know, kind of our only artificial noise right now is going to be coming from the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Other than that, the motors do give off this kind of slight whir or hum to signify that the vehicle's moving or on. It's there. It's a little bit subtle in this vehicle as it is in the Polestar 2. So nothing super artificial or loud. It is really just going to be the normal noises that the vehicle makes.
Awesome. And yeah, so basically I just took my foot off the brake right now and it completely braked for me. And so will the car like, oh wow, does it sense like a stoplight or something?
It really doesn't. You kind of just got it right there with your own foot and your own timing. But yeah, typically the cars just kind of come to a slow, gradual stop by themselves, and pretty easy to modulate after you've been driving them for just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like if I drove this for like even a day, I would definitely get fully used to it, in the sense where I would know when to just let my foot off the brake. So you can turn off one pedal driving, right?
You can turn it off completely in here to have this drive just kind of like your normal vehicle.
Understood. Okay. Very cool. And as far as the trim levels, or so to speak, or you know, the different versions of the Polestar 3, like this is a high performance version, what are the other versions that are available?
So as I mentioned, this one is going to have all 3 of our packages currently, Pilot, Plus, and Performance. All of those packages are able to be optioned individually of one another. That way, if you want the nicest vehicle, you don't also have to get the fastest and most expensive vehicle per se. So you can get vehicles with just the kind of Pilot pack, just the Pilot and Plus pack, or all 3 packages like this vehicle has Pilot Plus Performance. Then as I mentioned a little bit later on this year or next, we do have our Pilot Pro pack with LiDAR, and then we do have our Pro pack for this car as well, which is going to give it a few more aesthetic features all throughout the car, a few different sets of wheels and color options inside and out. So yeah,
very nice. Then what is the range that you will get in this vehicle?
This one can get up to 315 miles of range on a single charge.
Okay, perfect. And with fast charging, you can probably get a charge in like 15 to 20 minutes, right?
Just around 30 minutes for 10 to 80%. So you can, in just about 15 or 20 minutes, you can get just a majority of a charge.
Understood. Okay. I mean, yeah, what I really like in this car is the build quality. It feels so nice. Like it feels so robust. You know, a lot of electric cars, to me, don't have amazing build quality, but this car is so nice. Like I love even the turn signal stock, and this gear lever stock is so nice. Like it's just hard to put into words, you know?
I also get that quite a bit from the drive of this vehicle as well, and some of the other EVs I've kind of been around, there is a certain disconnect I feel kind of in driving the vehicles. This one definitely feels a little bit more present with the road. You kind of feel like you can control the vehicle a little bit more and feel a little bit more confident in it overall. So that's one thing I really enjoyed about this car after I started to drive it a little bit more.
Very nice. And are you able to like configure like small details in the interior? Like, are you able to like get this strip right here like yellow or anything like that if you're allowed to? Do you know anything about that?
I don't believe so quite yet. I know Polestar has explored the options as to opening up kind of individual trim features, things like the black ash deco right here, as you mentioned, little details like that throughout the steering wheel. So could come in the future, but at this time currently not available.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this Polestar. I think it's a wonderful vehicle. Beautiful, very high performing, and yeah, it really stands out. I'm sure if you drive this car around, you'll be getting a lot of attention in this car. Like from people I've talked to who own the Polestar 2, I remember driving a Polestar 2 once, and people are like taking pictures because they don't know what it is, which is really cool. I love how it stands out like that.
Most definitely, and this definitely carries that even a little bit higher, just with the super striking design on it inside and out, and the very kind of minimal markings or words all throughout the car. You're always going to have a lot of people kind of coming up to ask you about it.
That's awesome. But yeah, that was a very informative presentation by you, Chris. Thank you very much for telling us all about the Polestar 3. So if you would like to learn more about the Polestar, feel free to reach out to Polestar Grapevine and Chris. Ask for Chris at Polestar Grapevine. I'll leave his contact info in the description as well. And we're at Grubb's family of dealerships. Once again, thank you, Chris, and thank you everyone for watching this video on the Polestar 3. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks again.